Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome back to the channel and welcome to anyone who's new. In today's readings we are asking, what blessing will Venus in retrograde be bringing to you? Venus will be in retrograde from the 23rd of July through to the 4th of September. And that is what we are asking. What blessing will Venus in retrograde be bringing to you? Now, Venus will be in Leo, so very interesting mix of energy because Venus is very feminine and Leo is very masculine. And of course, Leo is very celebratory as well. I'm seeing two cards there, and that being the third. So we're drawing three cards. We will draw some runes as well. We have pile one, the card of Pioneer. Okay, so this is pile one, Pioneer. Pile two, you have the card of Slave. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. That is pile two. And pile three, Servant. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. So those are our three cards. I didn't read pile one, did I? Pioneer. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Okay, so we are looking at the blessings that the Venus retrograde period is bringing to you personally. And beautiful souls, if you find you're being drawn to more than one reading, trust it, because the 23rd of July to the 4th of September is actually a significant chunk of time. I'm sure it will whiz through very quickly, but it's well over a month, and there may be more than one blessing that is coming into your world. So if you're feeling that you're drawn to more than one card, you may want to check out more than one reading. I'm going to draw a rune as well for each of these. Oh, wow. Now, 4 runes have flown out. 3 of them are turned over. So I'm going to use these. The other I could see. So I'm going to use these 3 runes for the 3 readings. How interesting. They just flew out of the bag. Pile 1, you actually have the blank rune. Pile 2, you have the rune of flow. And pile 3, you have Kano, the rune of openings. Okay, so beautiful souls, I'll leave the video running for just a few moments in case you need a little bit longer, and the timestamps are in the description box. As always, tons and tons and tons of love, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So what blessing will Venus in retrograde bring to you? You have the card of Pioneer. Now the light attribute, I was about to say attitude, the light attribute is passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. The shadow attribute is a compulsive need to keep moving on. This is a very interesting because it looks like this kind of light bulb, and with such a heart center as well, which of course is very much tuning in with the energy of Venus. And you have the blank rune. I feel as if something you're already working on is going to receive a blessing. We'll draw more cards, but with the blank rune, I do feel there's something it's already in the pot. It's already, you're gestating on it, you're working on it, you're already involved in trying to pioneer it, to move it forwards. Let's draw more cards and see what else we are shown. We'll draw a spirit animal guide for you first to see what we are shown. Unicorn, this is fascinating, beautiful souls, infinite possibilities. Now, this blank rune is a rune of possibility. You are the sovereign of the seen and the unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Wow. Whatever you are currently involved in, beautiful souls, you have a significant, I actually want to say a significant contribution to make. But there is something that you really, really can move forwards here. Feels very, very special. That's what I want to say to you guys. Very, very special. Very potentially unique to you, being a pioneer. Let's draw another oracle card as well. There we have more guidance for pile 1. You have the unknown. Wow. This is so interesting because on the one hand, I feel like you're gestating something, that you're already in tune with something. On the other hand, there's something about the creative process that hasn't yet fully emerged yet. The compulsive need to keep moving on. Venus in retrograde energy, any retrograde energy slows us down. And Venus is, the energy of Venus in retrograde is particularly both reflective and responsive. Okay. This is tuning me in with something actually. I mean, I'm not doing these readings to promote my books, but somebody actually made a comment just in one of my most recent readings. It was within the last week, and bless you, thank you. I wrote a book called 7 Steps to Spiritual Empathy. And that book will teach you to listen to yourself and to be able to listen to life as it flows through you. 2 of the components of 7 steps, to understanding empathy as a spiritual way of being, a spiritual pathway of living, are actually receptiveness and receptivity and responsiveness. And those are absolutely key elements to the energy of Venus in retrograde. I feel as though you're going to be guided. I think one of the blessings that's coming to you, or this reading is suggesting a blessing coming to you from the Venus retrograde period, is that you'll literally be able to create something or bring something forth. There are infinite possibilities. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. I think you're going to be able to do something with an idea or something that you're wanting to already bring forth, something you're already percolating, whether you've actually started or whether it's something that's just in those early stages of contemplation. I think the Venus retrograde energy is going to give you, it's like creating a receptive space around you so you can receive the information you need in order to then take action in a responsive manner. I need to say to you, beautiful souls, that the most beautiful white feather has just drifted past my window. My window is actually closed, which means we probably can't hear my beautiful crows in the way that we normally do, but there is building work taking place here today, and therefore there is sort of background noise going on out there. Interesting, isn't it, that I've actually created, but just by closing the window, created a receptive and responsive place, a still place to do this reading. I sort of feel almost, away from the busyness of what's going on, and yet there is productivity literally going on in the world around me. I feel there's a flavour of that in your reading. It's as if the productivity will happen for you if you are able to get still and be reflective and responsive. I think you're going to be given the gift of knowing what to do, the gift of knowing what the next step will be. Let's draw more cards for you, beautiful souls. I'm going to use the Light Seer's Tarot. I'm seeing those 3 cards for you already. And those. Right, let's go with those to start with and see what we're shown. Gosh, look at this, the Empress. Whatever you are in the process of creating, emerging, gestating, nurturing, it's really worthy of investment. How interesting. We have the Five of Cups. Now this is a card of disappointment. And then we have the Page of Wands. Okay. Let's move these cards over. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. Oh, your message is ever so clear. Ever so clear. Now, what I feel I'm being shown here is, for some of you, this is actually something you've been thinking about or pondering for quite a while. You may even have been slightly procrastinating or struggling to kind of quite see how to move it forwards. Now, very interesting dynamic here with the retrograde energy, because I actually think that you're going to move something forwards with a much greater clarity here, because you become receptive and responsive to something. Now, there's either been procrastination, or there have been things that have either got in the way, or you have been lacking information or lacking motivation for some of you. There's massive potential for you with the blank rune and the unknown. Absolutely massive potential. Yes, it needs nurturing. I feel that we live in a very goal-driven world. We live in a world where there's so much emphasis, interestingly enough, so much emphasis and focus on what I would call the masculine perspective of the power of our mind, without recognizing that sometimes if we take the road less traveled, we may ultimately get there even quicker. By trying and striving to make something happen, sometimes we miss the very things we need to see to make it possible along the way. I think the Venus in retrograde energy is going to realign you. It's going to bring you exactly what you need to see to move a dream forwards. Can you see in this card the Page of Wands? On this person's jeans or trousers, there are little lizards here. I don't know if you can see those. Lizards are about entering the dream time, where we can manifest through stillness rather than manifest through doing. Now, I'm not saying you won't be doing, because the Page energy is exciting and the Wands energy is passionate, vibrant, it's happening, it's exciting. And the Queen of Swords is very focused. And the Ace of Wands is very much about doing and taking action. But I feel that you are being asked to slow down and listen to what is being shown around you, because it will guide you. It will take you on the steps you need. You've been either reticent or hesitant around something. I actually think you're sort of being asked to lean into a space of trust as well. Now, I appreciate that's a tricky one, isn't it? If we come back to your primary card, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. So whatever you're in the process of being involved in, it's fabulous. Everything here is saying it has massive potential. It's worthy of investment. But the shadow attribute is this compulsive need to keep moving on. It sort of aligns with that goal-driven, this is the next step, this is what I'm doing, A to B, very, very quickly, as fast as I can. You're being asked in this reading to slow yourself down and recognize, open yourself to receivership, receptivity, receivership, and responsiveness. These are the real deals, actually. Just maybe press the pause button 1 second. I'm literally just going to read to you the 7 steps, okay? The first step is the space within. It's about getting still, okay? The second step is about receivership, to receive. The second principle of empathy is about reflection, so we can process information. The fourth is respect. It's understanding boundaries, understanding how we navigate life with respect. We know with the law of attraction, what we put into the world is what we get back. Then responsiveness, being available to be responsive. The sixth principle of empathy is resolution. And finally, relationship, where you can live in relationship with all of life. Now, I simply voice those because I sort of almost feel as though, because Venus is so, the energy of Venus is so responsive, so reflective, it's so gentle, actually. And I feel as if you are being asked to sort of embody those attributes. And if you embody those attributes, everything you need is going to come to you exactly when you need it. There's definitely been some despondency around whether or not something can happen. That's the energy of the Five of Cups. It is a card of concern, fear, anxiety, worrying about making the right decision, not being sure what to do next. But the compulsive need, the shadow attribute, to keep moving on is the unhelpful bit. And because Venus in retrograde is asking you to slow down, and if we think about the qualities of Leo, those positive, high vibrational qualities of Leo, they're about celebration. Celebration of who you are, celebration of what you're doing. The combination of the Venus energy in Leo at its highest vibration is stopping to smell the roses, enjoying the journey, trusting that you'll be shown exactly what you need to do. I feel you're going to be given clarity of direction, but in the most responsive and gentle manner. And your role in that is simply to be receptive and available, to slow down enough, get still enough to receive. Whatever you are bringing forth, your cards are so incredibly positive. The message is also very much enjoy the journey. Don't get bogged down in the having to do stuff. Enjoy the journey and everything, I think, will unfold. Pile one. I'm thrilled for you with the unicorn energy. I mean, I really do feel you're going to come into your own in some way. Pioneer, yeah, literally. There is something that you can contribute to. That is a massive reflection of birthing something into the world, making something happen, being a light that shines not just for you, but for others. So stick with it, beautiful souls, but stick with it in a very particular way, in a slowed, still, receptive, responsive manner, because your reading is beautiful, and I think the Venus energy is really, really supporting you. It actually feels very angelic. I'd be interested to know what you guys are picking up on, but I do feel that there's quite an angelic kind of feel to this, actually. Very, very interesting energy around you. I want to say an angelic support. It also feels as if there's an element of sort of timing, karmic timing. Now, from an astrological perspective, the nodes have just shifted signs as well. So I will be doing more readings around the influence of the nodes moving into now Aries and Libra. Again, Libra is ruled by Venus. So because this is a big shift in energy that helps us to move things forwards. And yet here we have a moving of something forwards, huge potential and possibility, and yet moving forwards in the most loving and delightful manner. Beautiful souls, I think you are truly blessed with the Venus in retrograde energy. I think it will almost give you what you need, but like with a quality of life at the same time, if that makes sense. Pile one, it's gorgeous, I think. It really is gorgeous. Slow down, stop worrying, and just relax into the energy and move with it. Beautiful souls, thank you for joining me for this reading. I am sending you all the love in the world. Don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you would like to get notification of any of my readings as soon as I post them. I post every Sunday for immediate guidance from Spirit and other pick a card readings in the meantime. And my all zodiac sign readings, which run for every moon month, are available on Patreon, along with some tutorials and other stuff that I do over there. Beautiful souls, I am thrilled to be reading for you today. I think this period is going to be quite significant for you. I really, really do. And in the loveliest, loveliest way. Beautiful souls, tons of love. And I look forward to seeing you again for some more readings. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have the card of Slave. Now the light attribute is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. The shadow attribute, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Okay, how interesting. And then you have the rune of Flow, which often arrives when we are in a space of transition of some sort, actually quite a big, life-changing transitions. Now that may or may not be the case for you right now, but let's draw more cards and see what your reading is bringing you, and what blessing will the Venus in retrograde bring to you. I'm going to take actually the central card from that batch. You have Lion, higher calling. You have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Now, Venus, of course, is retrograde in Leo. And that is very interesting, that energy, because Leo is very masculine. It's also a point of celebration. Venus is very receptive and responsive. Higher calling. Surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. I feel like you are in a space of transition, beautiful souls. Something that you are feeling a little bit potentially anxious about, or worried about how you will navigate that transition or that change. We have the card of Silence here as well. Let's draw some tarot cards for you too. May we have information for Pile 2, please? What blessing is the Venus in retrograde period bringing, or the energy of the Venus in retrograde? I'm seeing this card, and actually that one too, for my beautiful Pile 2s. Okay, we have the Emperor. Okay. Oh, bear with me, someone is knocking on my door. Hey Pile 2, I just had a knock on the door. Now, let's continue with your reading, but let's hold in mind that there was an interruption. Okay, so we have the Emperor energy, which is very much about being in charge, which is interesting because this says surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. We have the Emperor energy, which is sort of feels like the opposite if we're looking at it in human terms, like being very much in charge of things. The Ten of Wands is a card where sometimes we take on too much, or we are burdened by others or by choices. Interesting, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. The Emperor is very much in charge of his own choices. The Ten of Wands is a card of sometimes fear, obligation, guilt. Fog, fear, obligation, guilt. Okay, so we then have the Eight of Swords. Okay, tangled in something. Feeling like you're, again, caught up in your own fear. The Eight of Swords can sometimes suggest we're tangled in our own fear of making choices again, or of getting it wrong. we have the Three of Wands, which I feel is about liberating yourself from something. Can you see she's actually stepping through a kind of gateway? She's moving to a future. She's looking ahead. This has a sense of potential freedom about it. And then we have the card of Strength as well. I actually do feel that the card of Silence is giving us a really important message for you, beautiful souls. I feel as if your reading is really acknowledging the polarities here of the light attribute of this archetype, slave, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, versus giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. I feel as if there is this sort of polarity taking place between doing what's potentially, for some of you, between doing what's right for you versus doing what you feel you are being obliged to do, or doing what's right for others. I rarely read from the books, but I am actually going to get out the book here to do with this card and just read to you. We just find that page. Here we go. So what I actually want to read to you is not so much the poem, but I remember there is a paragraph here. It says, this Rumi poem is directed at the mind. The mind wants to know and plan and predict, and this is useful until it becomes habitual or rigid. Then it distracts us from tapping into the source of wonder, from being still, and from responding to life's challenges with joyful spontaneity. This poem reminds us that if we want life's wisdom to speak to us, then we must first be silent. Okay, so I actually feel as if there is something that maybe you are struggling with, or fearful of, or uncertain about, or feel challenged by. And in reality, I think the answers are around you. This reading is about getting present. Now, we had an interruption, my beautiful pile 2. It's quite interesting. Do you know, I actually feel a level of anxiety around you. Maybe you're working too hard to try and make something happen. Maybe you're working too hard, or sticking to too rigid a schedule, or too rigid a perspective. Or just worrying so much that you're blinded to what is immediately in front of you. Yeah, there's a distinct energy of some anxiety around this reading. As if you are wanting to be free of something, to know how to move something forwards. And I almost feel as though the way for you to actually take charge and move forwards is firstly to have the strength of your own convictions. We've got Lion and then this lovely card of Strength with Venus, lovely heart center energy here, and the lovely imagery of the lion again. I feel like you need to have the courage of your convictions. It's very interesting. There's a whole kind of transitional element of choice in your reading. It's like making choices and having anxiety around those choices. I think there is concern and anxiety about a transition, and it feels like as if there's a bit of confusion or even a muddle around sort of quite how to move forwards. What's the best route? How do you get from A to B? You know, do you do what you really want to do, or do you do what you think you ought to be doing? Or that there's just a whole kind of melting pot of stuff. And this card, like finger to the lips, shh, let's just get still. Let's slow down. Stop panicking in response to external circumstances. Let's slow down and get still. This Emperor is very still. He's at the top of his game. He's in charge of himself. I feel the energy of this card. He's in charge of himself, not because he's go, 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 but because he's still. He's centered, that's the word. He's in charge of his world because he is centered in the energy, rather than being buffeted about. The imagery that I'm finding myself seeing really is a bit like a boat out at sea being buffeted about by the waves, and actually all you actually need to do is put down an anchor. You know, I'm feeling like if we use that metaphor, being in a boat out at sea and literally trying to steer it and keep it still when the waves are pushing you this way and that and the currents are going on, all you actually need to do is put down an anchor. And if you put down an anchor, the boat will still be buffeted around a little bit, but it won't be able to move very far. And you can just relax and get your bearings. That's what I feel the energy is here. Now, something is flowing forwards. Something is taking place, but there's an underlying energy of anxiety, almost panic for some of you. It's almost as if you're panicking about the stages of this. Now, you have within you all the courage you need, and here we have the card of Strength, which is all about courage, finding that pocket of energy within you just when you think that you've run out of something. It's there, you find the resources, and there you are. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Yeah. I feel as though I'm going to draw more cards for you, beautiful pile 2. I feel as though you are in the process of making some fundamentally quite significant choices that are maybe life choices. You know, the threes are always pivotal moments in time when we're on a pathway and we reach a certain point where we need to evaluate. You know, if it's the swords, it may be that, you know, we've been upset or hurt and it's now time to start to heal, but it's that turning point. And by acknowledging the hurt, we can heal. If it is the cups, then it's often a celebration. Something good has come in and we start to celebrate. It's the arrival or the newness of something, but we now need to build upon it. With the Three of Wands, there's a turning point. It's like energy coming to you to be able to shift and move something forwards in real terms, to start to create something, to see forwards, especially with this kind of surfboard energy and these two wands here feeling as though there's a gateway that you're stepping through. Yeah, I do feel you are at a gateway. You are leaving behind, actually, with the past energy here. You're leaving behind a period that's been quite taxing. Maybe you have been overburdened, and yet for some reason, some of you, I think, again, just maybe out of fear as well, of the unknown, stepping into the unknown, there's an anxiety and a concern that it won't work out, or that the choices you're making won't be right. But you are moving away from a period that has felt heavy going. You know, sometimes we stay with the security of something that isn't right for us, rather than setting forth to a new horizon, because we're tangled in the fear of how it might evolve. I am going to draw more cards for you, beautiful souls. I'm going to use a different tarot pack. I feel I just want to know a little bit more or have some assurances for you, because I do feel there's lots of underlying unease around you. We're being shown that you can do this and that there is a higher calling for you, a purpose, something that ultimately will assist you in kind of finding your freedom, liberating yourself from circumstances that have, I think, been getting you down. But I am seeing this turning point, and of course when we are going through a transition, it generates a lot of emotions, really, you know, big emotions. So you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, you are really at a significant turning point. We have the card of the Magician. This is very interesting. You really want this, beautiful souls. I am seeing that you really, isn't it interesting? It's like this is a transition that you really want, and yet the very nature of the transition is causing you to feel very, very anxious and almost causing you to possibly cling to some aspect of where you have been, it's your other card, rather than where you need to be going. And then we have the King of Wands. So I think the Venus in retrograde energy is asking you to trust. Venus energy, especially in retrograde, is very reflective. It slows us down. Get still. I do actually recall, it's interesting, I did a podcast with somebody recently. I was very honoured to be asked to have a conversation with somebody. In fact, I will put a link in the information box below the description and the comments as well for phone users. I was very honoured to be asked to have a conversation in which I actually did share some of my own experiences, and this reading is reminding me of a time in my world when things were really, really heavy going, significantly, really, really, really tough. And I actually recognised that I had to do something. And yet I also at the time could not see a way out of the circumstances I was in. I was really struggling, bar upping sticks and walking away. I really, and that was not possible in many ways. There would have been massive repercussions. I really wasn't sure what to do. I won't dive into too much personal detail, but that was the time in my life when I started to meditate. I joined, I think it was an Oprah, Deepak and Oprah free 21-day meditation experience when they were just starting out with those things. It was free, and I used to write down the Sanskrit mantra every day and write it on a post-it, and I would carry it with me all day, so that even when I found myself slipping into the lower vibrational energy that was around me and in me, because there was a lot of fear in me at the time, because of certain circumstances around me. And I knew I had to, I'd learned enough at that stage in my life to know that I had to write the energy within me in order to create a shift. I wouldn't just be able to do it through sort of like willpower and determination alone. And I feel the retrograde energy is offering you a space of stillness to write your energy, so that the anxiety and the lens of fear and worry and concern is shifted. Because the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician and the King of Wands, what a lineup. I feel this reading is saying get still, lower your anxiety, recognise it is time to leave the past behind you. It is time to step up to a higher calling. There is far more coming your way with the King of Wands, the energy of the King of Wands and the Magician. We're talking about a very exciting space of empowerment here. We're talking about the energy shifting, and it's shifting positively, and you yourself can be an instigator with the Magician. You yourself can be an instigator of that shift. Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be stuff going on around you. If I go back to my own experience and think of the energy of the Magician, sometimes this energy indicates a bit of trickster energy around. But if there's trickster energy or something not going well, it's giving you an almighty great nudge to move forwards and do something differently. So this is about you writing your energy, so you are then empowered in a kind of a still and present way to look to the future and create and generate that potential for yourself. You are at a turning point, pile 2. There's a lot of worry, a lot of concern about that transition, and your reading is saying, look, the Venus retrograde energy, the blessing this is bringing you, is because the energy is so nurturing, so gentle, so soft, so so feminine, so all of those things. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like you're being asked to get in tune with the flow of the Venus energy, irrespective of what's going on around you. Get in tune with the Venus energy of receptivity, of stillness, of reflection. in a way that enables you to remove the lens of anxiety and concern that is probably colouring your decision making, and then move forwards. Then you can move forwards, you can see where you're going, you can see the direction you are walking in. Super, beautiful, lovely energy. Okay, then you can see your way ahead. You do have the strength and the courage to move through this with majesty, with also says, you know, success and contentment with those by your side. Rising above something as well. If any of you are experiencing any major challenges, as I certainly was when I was at that point in my life that I've just spoken of, and I really did know I absolutely had to do something. It was interesting for me. I started to listen to constant podcasts that were positive. Do check out that podcast that I did recently. But I started to listen to constantly things. I decided I was only going to bring into my world things of higher vibrational energy, conversations that were positive, interesting podcasts, music that was positive, everything that was high vibrational. I meditated, I got still. I couldn't disconnect from everything that was going on around me, but I knew I needed to center my energy from the inside out. I feel the blessing that Venus in retrograde is bringing you is the opportunity to literally engage and align with that energy. And from that place of stillness, the wheel will turn. You will see a way forwards. You'll know what to do. I think you will find empowerment. And I feel like with the King of Wands, you're going to come out of this, not just at the top of your game with the Emperor energy here. You'll come out at the top of your game. I think it's going to move forwards, ironically enough, quite quickly. So even though retrograde energy tends to slow things down, curiously enough, I think for you guys, it's much more, the blessing is much more about getting still, writing the energy, so it can then naturally flow. If we think of Venus retrograde as a calling for us to flow naturally, rather than trying to flow too fast or to force things, I think the energy will support you, and I think things are going to shift and change very quickly during this time, especially with the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician, and you will re-find your leadership, get back in charge of your own world from a place where things have been feeling out of balance and not okay. I think you're going to shift to a place where they are okay. Very interesting mix of astrological energy going on at the moment, because the nodes have also shifted signs. For anyone interested in astrology, they've moved into Aries and Libra, which is ruled by Venus. And so there's a lot of karmic energy in terms of shifting things forwards and taking direct action, especially with the Aries energy, which is here in your card of the Emperor. So it's very interesting dynamically that there's a lot of energy that's promoting karmic shifts and moves forwards alongside the Venus retrograde energy that enables us to do this from a place of balance and in flow with reflective, responsive energy rather than sort of reactive energy, which is often rooted in fear and concern. Beautiful pile too. I will be doing readings about these karmic shifts, so do watch out for those and keep a lookout. If you want to get notification of all my readings, do press subscribe and press the little bell icon as well. They should come into your stream. Beautiful souls, it's an absolute joy. This is your reading. I don't feel I need to draw any more cards for you. I do think this period is going to be a blessing indeed for you, and I think you're going to see things shift very quickly as with the opportunity to align with a much more natural flow of things. Beautiful souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. It's an absolute joy to read for you. I post every Sunday with immediate guidance from Spirit, and also I post other readings at different times in the week, so just do keep a lookout for those. I also do give away a free private reading every month. I'm not able to offer private readings, but I do give one away in a subscriber prize draw along with a pack of oracle cards. I'll put the link to join that list in the description box and also in the comments for phone users as well. So do check that out and add yourself to that subscriber list if you would like to be in that prize draw. Once you're in that draw, you're in it forever. You don't have to add yourself every month. Beautiful souls, I am sending you the hugest virtual hug in the world. I think this is really going to be a period where you, gosh, isn't that interesting? I wanted to take a big breath, where you can refine your ability to relax and get back on track in a balanced way. Beautiful souls, tons and tons of love to you. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So what is the Venus in retrograde bringing you in the way of a blessing? So we have servant, light attribute, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, and shadow attribute, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forwards with life. How interesting, because Kano, the rune of openings, is suggesting that there is a window of opportunity around you, or that the Venus in retrograde energy will bring you a window of opportunity. Let's have a look and see what else we are shown for your reading, beautiful pile 3. Okay. Okay, your card that has flown out, a spirit animal guide, is squirrel. Always prepared. I love this card. I really, really love it. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future and life will give you all you need. Yeah, I think a doorway is opening for you. A doorway of opportunity. Now, it doesn't mean you can't play or that you have to be all work, work, work. But actually, I think you're needing to be on track with something. It's very interesting. She's climbing up stairs here. She's delivering something. I mean, in this instance, it could be a bowl of soup or something, I'm not sure, or a cup of tea, a gigantic cup of tea. But the point is, she's climbing up the stairs. She's moving something onwards. Yes, how interesting. Squirrel always prepared. This is such a powerful rune of openings. It's such a powerful rune of clear, direct clarity of direction, knowing the steps that you need to take next. This is very interesting because the Venus in retrograde energy, well, any retrograde energy, tends to slow us down. So I'm really curious about your reading, pile 3. You have the ripening. Okay, right. This is a card where something ripens, moving towards a harvest. Something is ripening, something is emerging in your life. I want to say keep going with something. That the energy of Venus in retrograde is the blessing that it's bringing you. I think the blessing it's bringing you is an attitude of joy in what you're doing. We'll draw more cards, but the ripening is suggesting that there is something here to invest in and to continue with, to keep going, not to stop. Let's draw more cards for you, my beautiful pile 3. What is this about? I'm seeing these, and actually those two as well, and I think the card on the bottom of the pack. 10 of Swords. How interesting. I love this 10 of Swords because she's walking towards the light. I always feel it's an exit point, but with this card particularly, it's really clear that she's moving to something. She's not just walking away from something, she's moving to something. There's forward motion in your reading here, with this person in the light attribute here, or this person in the servant card moving ahead. And Queen of Wands. I just always feel she is a joyous figure. She's very good at creating. She makes things happen. I mean, there's a celebratory element here. I feel this is like doing something for the joy of doing it. That's the element of service, isn't it? When you do something for the sheer joy of doing something. With the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, it could be connected to a community or a contribution that you're making. Delight in serving others, being of service. We have the Nine of Wands. Interesting. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Now, retrograde energy can bring us interruptions or moments where something happens or we can be distracted. And sometimes there's a real purpose to this, in that we are actually literally being asked to stop and slow down. I think with you guys, if there are any distractions that come into your world during this period of Venus retrograde, which is running from the 23rd of July to the 4th of September, if there are any interruptions, distractions, I think they're showing you something that will help you to see with greater clarity what you need to do in order to maintain your direction, as opposed to something coming to you, because sometimes something happens in our world and it happens because the universe is simply saying to us, do you know what, it's time you stopped. If you're not going to stop, we'll bring you something that'll make you. I mean, do you know the sort of flavour of that? I've definitely had that. And met people who've had the same, and you just think, yeah, actually, I have been pushing and pushing and I've not really listened, and you know, I need to stop. And the universe brings you exactly what you need to make you stop. It's like, come on, it's time you stopped. Take a breather, take time out. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to have a balance of work and play. Yes, you do, and it's appropriate for you to do so. But I feel as if anything that is brought to you with the Nine of Wands energy here, anything that comes to you is actually showing you sort of the next step forwards so that you can step up and over something. It's leading you to a position of success. It's showing you what you need to do to take action, to be moving something forwards. Very interesting energy, because something is ripening here. I think something may well, with the Emperor energy as well, come to fruition during this phase of time, 23rd of July to 4th of September. Something might actually come to fruition. Squirrels are very good at organising themselves. They're always playful in the way that they navigate life. Whenever you look at a squirrel, even when it's busy working, gathering nuts, burying nuts, sorting out you know, the prosperity of the future, at the same time they're always bouncing around, they're always chattering, they're always chuckling, they're always laughing, they're always playful. They bounce around. There's so much energy of joy. So even though they are great fun, delightful to watch, and they're crazy busy, they're very, very productive, but they do it with fun and joy. And I feel that's the energy that you're being shown here in the blessing from Venus in retrograde is to do with happiness. It's to do with joy. It's to do with love. It's to do with loving something for the sake of doing it. The service card, the servant. Doing something for the joy of doing it, loving every second of the progress. The Venus energy is offering you this enjoyment of creation, of doing. And if there is any kind of a stumbling block, I believe it will be showing you simply with greater clarity how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Finesse your contribution. Because something is ripening. I think you might, with the Emperor card, genuinely see the outcome, something coming to fruition, the outcome of something during this period. I feel for you that it might be quite busy. Happening. You know, storage for the future, creating something for the future. So don't let distractions deviate you from your pathway. If there is a distraction, notice what you're being shown, my beautiful souls. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, because I do think retrograde energy often slows us down and can make us feel as though something is interrupted. Curiously enough, I feel as if there is something you really need to continue with. You're walking towards something, and it has a significant future. There's something really good coming in here, something that will put you at the top of your game. It will bring you a sense of profound satisfaction, but you're being asked to enjoy the journey. That's the Venus energy. Very, very interesting. I've said in each of these readings, of course, aside from Venus in retrograde, the nodes are shifting signs. They have moved into Aries and Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Aries, we have the symbol of Aries here. Aries is all about taking action. So we've got a massively interesting kind of dynamic astrologically going on at the moment, with the energy of the nodes inviting us to take action, but also to do so in a way that's balanced. And I feel that the Venus retrograde energy is going to assist us in getting on course, reorientating in whatever way is needed for us as individuals. For you guys, there's a need to keep going with something, to continue, but to do it for the love of it and to enjoy every second of it. I'm just going to draw a few more cards for you, my beautiful pile 3. May we have a little bit more information for my beautiful pile 3. We'll take those 2. And may we have another card for my beautiful pile 3. Do you feel it's that one? Yeah, we have the card of Justice. Okay. Yeah, I think something will come to fruition. How interesting. So we have the Hierophant, we have the 3 of Pentacles, and you've got the 3 of Pentacles again. So this is showing up twice. Now the 3 of Pentacles is about collaboration, collaborating, working together, weaving a tapestry with others, being connected to a community. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be working alone, but I also do think you have a role of leadership here. With the card of Justice and the Hierophant too, and the 3 of Pentacles showing up again, I think there's a distinct need in this period to continue investing in something, to continue working at something. Do it for the joy, do it in service of a higher good, a bigger picture. Whether it's for your community, you're working on something within your family, whatever that is. Continue to invest because the timing is really right. But also be flexible and adaptable in terms of how you move forward. So doing it for the joy of doing it. If I'm in a squirrel, for example, I don't know if you've ever seen those amazing videos where they put bird nuts out, and I remember seeing these years ago. They were spectacular. The squirrels come along and they eat all the nuts that somebody's putting out for the birds. So they create these kind of incredible obstacle courses. 9 of Wands sometimes suggests there are obstacles. They create these incredible obstacle courses for the squirrels to navigate in order to get to the bird nuts at the end. And every time they do it, and they're remarkable. They run along washing lines and they hang upside down and they leap from one thing to another and they work out exactly what they need to do. But every step of the way they do it with joy and playfulness. It's a delight to watch. And you look at these extraordinary obstacle courses that they navigate and get through, but they get to the goal. So I sort of feel like, I think something is going to ripen and come to fruition. I think there will be course correction along the way. Don't use the course correction or the something, if there's an obstacle in your way, trust that it is actually showing you how to do something with greater precision or greater service. You'll be shown exactly what you need, but something is coming to fruition during this period of time. And because the retrograde energy can turn things upside down a little bit, if anything comes along, just notice exactly what you need to do to bring things back into balance, and do achieve a work-life balance as well. Don't just work. You do need to keep going. That's really for sure here, because something will ripen and come to fruition, but you need to also play at the same time. This is what your reading, or certainly is suggesting to me. Of course, it's up to you. You have conscious free will and choice. Do it for the love of doing it. Make sure you take some time to play as well, but also keep your focus. Absolutely keep your focus. Keep your focus, keep your balance. And I think something of genuine significance is actually going to ripen and come to fruition. Very, very interesting energy. I feel like the energy of Venus in retrograde for you guys is simply about joy. It's like being present in the moment, doing everything for the love of doing it, and benefiting from the sheer enjoyment of delivery, whatever that is, a collaboration. I am wishing you every luck with whatever you are moving forwards, because moving forwards it is, that's for sure. You're walking towards something. Keep your life in balance, and do so through joy, literally embracing joy. There's a fabulous talk that I listened to years ago. I think you can find it via Hay House actually, and it was a wonderful American doctor called Christiane Northrup, and the talk was called The Power of Joy, and I can highly recommend it. It was just absolutely super lovely, and loads of really interesting stuff that she spoke about in terms of, you know, how ultimately how joy impacts on our personal energy levels as well. And I do feel that the more joy you have, the more you will move forwards, and whatever you're doing, I think, is going to gather momentum. Beautiful souls, this is your reading. The blessing is embracing joy, keeping going, working at something, definitely, having a balance, that's for sure. Having a balance, but keeping going with something and doing so, yeah. Happiness, joy. Reminds me, there's a lovely Archangel Michael card as well, which I drew the other day for somebody, and it said, decide to be happy now. Just about holding that energy. And I think that is the joy that Venus, or that's the blessing that Venus in retrograde is bringing you. It's the happiness, the sense of fulfillment in knowing that what you're doing is evolving, emerging, happening. Obstacles can be overcome, and you're going to get there. It's going to ripen and come to fruition. Gorgeous reading, beautiful souls. Gorgeous reading. Pile 3, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, I'll be doing more readings, particularly around this sort of karmic energy of the nodes shifting signs, because, you know, we're in a very powerful period of astrological transition. I also post readings every single Sunday, bringing guidance and immediate guidance. And thank you so much, all of you, for giving me feedback in your comments and views. I do listen to everything you have to say, and really bring that into my readings. So thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for joining me today, Pile 3. Tons and tons of love. Have an amazing Venus in retrograde period, because you're on something. You're doing something. You're moving something forwards, and it will come to fruition, which is delightful. Loving it, absolutely loving your energy. Beautiful souls, I look forward to seeing you in another reading really soon. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for being with me, not just on YouTube, but for those of you who are also with me on Patreon, where I do my all zodiac sign readings. Just thank you all. It's a privilege and a joy to be here. I feel like I'm embracing your energy. It's the joy of the being and the joy of the doing, and truly it's feeling very strong in your reading. It's absolutely delightful. So thank you for letting me sit in your energy. Tons and tons of love, Pile 3.